Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Azrina binti Zulkifly, and today I'm going to present the result on my study, which is the relationship between home environment and physical activity and sedentary behavior in children, a systematic review protocol. So we begin with the introduction. Childhood obesity has become one of the most serious public health concerns, with over 340 million children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 years old were obese. The home environment is closely related to child obesity because it has an important influence on physical activity level and also sedentary behavior. For literature review, as mentioned before, the prevalence of child obesity is increasing, and the home environment can provide the opportunity to be physically active or to be sedentary. For the rationale, the study aimed to complement the prior review by including preschool children and updating on the latest findings. For objective, to review systematically the existing literature that examines the relationship between home environment and physical activity and sedentary behavior in children. So method, this systematic review followed the Prisma statement. For inclusion criteria, participants included age 4 to 12 years old. The intervention is on home environment intervention with physical activity and sedentary behavior outcome. Comparisons measure the physical activity and sedentary behavior value pre and post intervention against a comparison group. And for the outcome, study that measure the target outcome of both physical activity or sedentary behavior or include home environment intervention. And for the study design, observational study and also intervention study. For exclusions, study will exclude if they are not within the home environment, not measure the direct association, measure physical activity categorically, measure physical fitness but not physical activity with missing info, not in English language, and published before 2008. The database used is PubMed and Scopus, and this is just the strategy I use. For data collection and analysis, the reference were imported into Mendeley software. The duplicate article were removed and ordered by year of publications. Study selection is by screening the title and abstract, and also re-evaluated by reading the full text. The data collection process is as mentioned before. Data items, all the data extract are based on the characteristic of FICO. For study quality, the study quality assessment tool I use is EPHPP. Each study received a mark of strong, moderate, or weak. Next is the result. For Prisma flowchart, a total of 458 articles were from PubMed, Scopus, and also reference list. 390 remain after the duplicate, and 361 were excluded with reasons such as topics were not related. Then 29 full text was screened, and 9 was excluded because of the stated reasons. A total of 20 articles were included in the review, which 13 is observational studies and 7 is intervention studies. The demographic variables. The study in this review has been done in 6 countries, which are UK, China, Portugal, Australia, and also US. The first evidence is for observational studies. There are 12 cross-sectional and 1 cohort studies. The data item that has been assessed was the study description, sample size, participant age, comparison, outcome measure, main finding, and also the study quality. The data in the evidence table were organized according to the quality evaluations. Overall, there are 9 studies rated as moderate and 4 weak studies with no studies rated as strong. Studies by Kunin Benson et al., Jago et al. 2015, Tandon et al., and also Jago et al. 2012 were rated as weak. Most of the study has weak rating on the study design component because cross-sectional is not on the list and was classified as weak. For in observational studies, there are 7 studies that focus on the sedentary behavior, 1 study focus on physical activity, and 5 focus on both physical activity and also sedentary behavior. For example, the study by Tremblay et al. Looked on the associations between home environment, which is the number of TV in the home, and also TV inside bedroom, with screen time, which is classified as sedentary behavior. Then, the association with physical activity can be seen in study by Lau et al., which emphasize on the physical activity resources with total physical activity in children. And the rest of the studies were rated as moderate. For intervention studies, there are 7 randomized control trials that were included. The data item assessed was on study description, age, sample size, intervention, in which what the intervention and also control group were assigned to, comparison, outcome measure, main finding, and also study quality. 3 studies were rated as strong, 2 study was moderate, and the other 2 was weak. The intervention study, such as Tomaiko et al., have strong rating because the study design is RCT, there is blinding, and also the participant is representative of the population. So the overall rating is strong. For intervention study, there are 5 studies focus on the increasing physical activity and 2 studies decreasing sedentary behavior. For example, in study by French et al., the TV limiting device has association with less time on screen viewing, which is decreasing the sedentary behavior. And the other study is moderate and also weak. Next, the study quality. I have mentioned before. For the outcome measures for physical activity, the variables were measured using accelerometer in 9 studies, using pedometer in 1 study, and using other type of questionnaire in 5 other studies. For sedentary behavior variables, 5 studies used accelerometer, 12 studies used self-reported questionnaire on the amount of time spent on sedentary behavior of children. For home environment variables, there are a variety of tools we use, such as 10 studies use self-reported questionnaire on media accessibility in home and child's bedroom. There are also parental report on social and physical home environment, parental report on family rules on physical activity and sedentary behavior, and the applications of few types of questionnaires in 4 other studies. For the associations, it has been divided into 3. So the first one is association between home environment and physical activity among children. The total studies is 4. Two studies state that home environment was associated with children's physical activity. 1 study state that home environment does not associated with children's physical activity, while 1 study state that 1 out of 2 home environment was associated with physical activity. The next association is on home environment and also sedentary behavior among children. A total of 6 studies investigate the associations, and all 6 studies state that the home environment was associated with sedentary behavior among children. For association between home environment, physical activity, and sedentary behavior among children, a total of 10 studies investigate the associations, with 8 studies have the association between with both physical activity and also sedentary behavior. 1 study only have association with sedentary behavior but not physical activity, and also 1 study were associated with physical activity but not associated with sedentary behavior. For statistical analysis, 12 studies use regression analysis to observe the association. 2 studies use linear mixed models. 2 studies use independent and paired t-test. 2 studies use ANOVA. 1 study use mixed model repeated measure analysis, and also 1 study use chi-square test. And for the reference, that's all from me. Thank you.